Hey guys, and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be chatting about when I went backpacking. Overall, I'm actually hoping to inspire some of you to just go backpacking, even if you don't have friends and people to go with. If you're into the whole hectic, just throw yourself into a situation with a bunch of strangers in a new place, then you guys need to go solo backpacking. So just for context, I'm going to outline where I travelled. London Heathrow, went to Bangkok, and then I went from Bangkok, travelled through Thailand up to Chiang Mai. From Chiang Mai, went to Bali. In Bali, I hopped around a bit, went to Lombok and the Gillies. I went to all three, which was nice. And then from Gillies, Lombok, went all the way back, it's literally an island jump, back to Bali. And then I went to Australia. From Australia, I then went to Abu Dhabi, which I count as an extra country, even though I only spent 10 hours there. It was my layover for my connecting flight, but I actually left the airport, and it made little trips within the whole trip which I wouldn't have seen. Start in Thailand, so I got a one-way flight to Bangkok, and I was actually really lucky in the sense that the people that sat next to me on the long haul flights, we were chatting the whole time. It was literally a great start, I was super nervous the night before going traveling, and then as soon as I was on the plane, I was in my position and then the soon-to-be friends came and sat next to me. Oh, you can get, I didn't know this until my first friend my on my way to Bangkok friend, he started getting alcohol, and I was like, whoa, do you not have to pay for this? Because I wasn't about to start using all of my savings. It turns out that long haul flights, everything is included. If you want to drink, if you want a snack, it's included, and alcohol is even included. And I was like, I would have never known these things though. Long haul flights, free alcohol. I only spent one night in Bangkok. I wouldn't shout about Bangkok. It was actually my least favourite place that I visited on my whole trip, and probably just in my life. I really don't have anything good to say about Bangkok, except, and this is a big except, it is the best Indian I ever have had in my life. I'm hoping that will be disproved when I finally go to India and have some actual Indian food. From Bangkok, I then travelled up to somewhere I'm gonna have to double check, so I'll just put the name somewhere. And it was one of them where you have to trek, you get muddy, you have to use trees to lift yourself up, to go up this you're basically climbing up the side of the waterfall to get to each tier until you get to the top tier, and it's 7. So you're just climbing. You have to put your phone down and use your knees and really put your heels into the mud to get up, kind of climb. It was actually sick. I way prefer that to just having steps carved in. I do remember some of it was steps, but even those steps were all just a bit broken, to the point you had to still really grip onto the step to step up. So after that day, I'm in this coffee shop thing, waiting to go on an overnight train to Chiang Mai, and I'm trying to clean my trainers, because they're the only trainers I had. It was just white Converse. It was super money. These two guys playing chess. Don't know what the opening line was, but we started chatting. One of them actually ended up leaving, so I took the spot and I actually ended up playing chess, and I was being taught chess as well. He knew moves and the name of the moves. That is actually one of the highlights of my trip. I just found it so wholesome, just sat there playing chess with this guy that I literally just met, and I think I only spent 2 hours with, was it 2 hours? It might even be less than that, because I was waiting to go to get this train. It was the waiting point. Let's move on to Bali. First thing I did, I put my bags down. I went to the bar to go and get a drink. My card straight up declined. My credit card straight up declined. I was like, this is not what was meant to happen. But anywho, I ended up going to Finn's. If anyone's been to Bali and went to Thankyou, Finn's Beach Club, I think that's quite a common spot. As the night went on, drinking, I was drinking, I think I was drinking Chang, which is my favourite beer. But that's a beer in Thailand, so maybe it wasn't Chang. What was I drinking? I think it actually was a Chang, which is weird that it was in Bali. Maybe I'm mixing memories. And then we leave, and then I go back to the hostel, and there's a pool on the top. Straight up, I literally beeline straight up to the pool. and I don't know if this was like psychopathic, but I literally just took my, like, I took everything off. Yeah, I just jumped in. But wow, I literally did not care. I didn't even think. And then I go to sleep that night. An earthquake happened while I was sleeping, and I didn't even wake. I was so drunk. A, or B, the earthquake actually wasn't that crazy. I don't know, because like people did wake up. Like the people I was with, they woke up from it. Okay, so fast forward, I'm in Igiliti, and then I need to go from Igiliti to Lombok to Bali to get to Australia. From Lombok to Bali, and earthquake happened, and this earthquake was like, it woke me up. I was sleeping on the, it was like a proper boat, like a boat. I didn't know it was an earthquake. I just thought I was being like woken up, and everyone was being a bit like scattered around, and everyone was just a bit like, ugh. And feel the atmosphere of the boat just like changing. People are getting a bit like stressed out. I don't think people really knew why. My phone wasn't really working, and then this guy that I had met on a night out in Bali, in Jiggy's. If anyone's been to Igiliti, then Jiggy's bar, unlimited alcohol for the whole night, just pay entry. So then this guy that I met in Jiggy's then comes out of nowhere, gives me his like phone and stuff to like contact my family, and I'm just like, oh my god, like and then he just like literally takes me under his wing. And after you get off the boat, it was very chaotic. Everyone was like, oh my god, there's an earthquake. And I'm saying it like that, but like, it actually was peak. Taxis F you, they were such about it. It's like, oh, there's gonna be no more taxis, nobody wants to be around here, nobody wants to be around the like shore, which yeah, okay, they don't, but they were saying that and then amping up the price. Just like exploited the situation by just like literally amplifying the price so hard. But we paid it. I actually think I got away with not paying because we got in with quite a few people. That's really bad. And I think someone owed the guy money, so we just cancelled out, and then he didn't like expect money from me. This whole time I'm basically missing my flight to Australia. Airport in Bali is like, I saw a photo and the TV was like hanging off the like wall, so I was like, can I go to the airport? Am I going to be able to get my flight to go to Australia? My dad was like, go to the airport. Then I was like, there's no point in going to the airport if I'm just going to end up sleeping for a couple of days in an airport. But the guy kindly let me go and stay with him. So he was sharing his room. It was just me and these two guys sharing this room, and it was honestly like one of the highlights of my whole trip. The conversations were immaculate. Like the conversations was so funny, and we just got on so well. It was very chill. We like deeped it for like one conversation. Like, oh my god, I'm very thankful that I got off of Gili when I did, because, and I'm thankful that I was on a boat, which if I hadn't experienced that, I would say the last place I would want to be during an earthquake is on a boat where I'm near the earthquake happening under the water because of waves and stuff. But it honestly was just a little rock, like the boat, little rock. I just like got shook awake. I was sleeping, compared to being like on land where there's buildings like falling, and it's just very like, the stories that my friends had and where they was when it happened is just like, honestly, like, ugh, it's giving me like creeps. Because I was still trying to get to Australia, I had to book a new flight, and the prices it's so typical. The prices went, so my original flight from Bali to Cairns, Australia was like £140. At this point I'm very much to the end of my budget. Flights that I then had to get like £800. Like, there's no way. Thank you, mum, because mum literally like bailed me out. I was like, mum, I need money. And then mum's like, just come back home. Like, why do you have to go to Australia? Like, this has just happened. Why do you have to like extend your trip? And I was like, I'm not coming home. I still need to go to Australia. Went to Australia. If I have another tip, it is do not book things. Do not pre-book things. Not pre-book flights, activities. Just get there and then book when you're there and do whatever happens when you're there. I annoyingly pre-booked pretty much every step of my trip. So unfortunately I had pre-booked which sounds so amazing and I wish I could still do this, a 5-day paddy on the Great Barrier Reef to learn how to scuba and basically live on a boat. Included like a nighttime dive, which sounds like but I'm just like that sounds so cool, because of the earthquake, I missed my flight. By the time I get another flight to Australia, I missed the start date. So I missed that. I ended up getting to delay that by a couple days. But because I then had to push back my start date on my boat trip, it was then exceeding my return flight home. Yeah, if that's explained well. I actually did go for the first couple of days, because the first days you just go and you learn in a pool how to scuba dive. I found it very difficult actually to like breathe underwater. I didn't like understand how to just like use the equipment as if they're like part of me and to just like relax. I was not relaxed at all. I was literally in Australia trying to change my flight home, so that my flight home, I get a couple of extra days in Australia to finish my boat trip. When you're trying to change your flight that late on, you have to pay extra money just to get your flight changed. At that point, I was paying the same, like pretty much the same amount of money to get a flight. And at this point, it was a flight from Australia to Heathrow. I did not have the coin to do this. I was completely basically out of money. There was no way. So I ended up just calling off the boat trip, and instead I went to the horse races, which was fun. Horse races, boat trip. I really wanted to go to that boat trip though. It's actually really sad. I then ended up going to the races, and it literally ended up, it was very I don't know, I just got myself into a lot of like situations. We go from races and then we end up at a house party, like a flat party. I don't know. A fight like broke out, so we like dipped from this house party and then ended up going to like this club. So by the time all of that like rounds up, I go basically straight from the club, get my bags, check out my bag. To be fair, my bag, so I did have a little bag, check out, and then I went to the airport. Oh my god, it sunk in when I was trying to check in, and I was sat there and I was like, I'm so beyond gone. And on the plane, I think I just passed out. I think I slept, but it was peak because I was on a aisle seat, so I just had to like sit like uncomfortably and then like try and sleep, but because I was drunk, I did. Then I go from Cairns to Sydney, and I'm on a 12-hour layover in Sydney, so obviously I'm leaving the airport. I go for a whole day around Sydney, get a flight to Abu Dhabi, and then I've got about a 10-hour layover in Abu Dhabi. So I leave the airport, I go for a whole day out in Abu Dhabi. This time though, I timed it awfully. Sydney had way more transport links. I was on the tube, I was on this, I was on that, you can walk places. Abu Dhabi, however, it's bus or nothing. This is when things get stupid, and it's not me giving people advice, because please don't do what I do, because I do stupid things, and just thankfully like I feel that the universe just kind of like gets me out of these situations nicely without me really like doing anything. And then I always have to like count my lucky stars afterwards. I'm now running late to get my flight, and this is now the last flight. All I need to do is get from Abu Dhabi to Heathrow, where my dad's waiting. Oh, I hope he's not waiting yet, where he'll be waiting. But I am running late. I can't find a bus. I have no idea. So, and I'm literally in the middle of a roundabout, like thinking what the hell. And I don't have a SIM card in my phone because I just laid over there for like one day. So I just didn't bother getting a SIM, which I should have done. So I just stick my arm out, and literally within a second, it was like that. I stick my arm out, and within a second, this guy in a spenny car, like it was unreal. He's like in his 30s. It was a very like businessman kind of like wealthy guy. Literally pulled up, and I'm like, please, can you please take me to the airport? And he was hesitant, which I liked. I feel like I was reading the signs that it was me wanting him to drive me there, because if it was him wanting, like offering for me to get in his car, then my signs would be like, no, absolutely not. But I feel like I thought it was safe, because this idea of me getting in his car didn't come from him, it came from me. So I felt like I was in control of this situation. Obviously I wasn't, it's his car. But I get in the car. By the way, the airport's like a 45-minute drive. Like this ain't this ain't some small favour. I was very blessed to find someone willing to take a full-on like detour from their life to just like help me. We're talking. I'm a very much like, I will talk to keep the situation normal. Tells me that he's a businessman from Dubai, and at this point we're in Abu Dhabi. Dubai is the next city, and we're nearly at the airport, and we're going straight. And literal crossroad, like literal crossroad, it's either straight to Dubai or turn right to the airport, and there was signs. And I'm literally staring like, and it dawns on me at this moment, he's from Dubai. Straight. He'll go straight. And then I was like, just my last faith in humanity is please turn right. Please turn right. I don't want to go to Dubai. Like, please turn right. He turned right. I was sweating. I was honestly like, this was a pinch yourself moment, because then I was doubting his like humility. He could be a bad person, and then when he turned right, I was like, snap, he's actually like a genuine nice person. He's just trying to help me. He drove this whole way and all he wants to do is help me, and it made me feel really just like and I'm literally trying to give him money and he's like, no, and he's lecturing me, never do this again. Okay, I won't do it again, like I promise. And I get out and I am cussing myself. I am like, you idiot. So I had to go and sit down and like relax myself, because I was like, but then I end up, so I'm now waiting for my flight. I'm now going and I'm giving this lady my ticket to get through the gate to go on the plane because it's boarding. And then my ticket gets like declined. She scans it and then it gets beep beep like I'm just like, oh my god, my ticket's not gonna work, I need to get it back. A new ticket just prints off and it says business class, and I'm there like twitching. Like at this point, imagine I've done a month and a half with just a handheld little backpack. I've been just like washing all of my clothes with my hand in the sink. My hair, I binned my hairbrush by the time I got to Australia, because I wasn't brushing it and it was so like naughty, and I was just jumping in water, coming out and drying, jumping in water, coming out and drying. I was just walking around in these like sandals, and I'm there like, oh my god. This guy next to me, he turns to me, and then we're both like, we wasn't meant to be in here, like we got upgraded, and we're both gassing, we're like, we've been upgraded. He was a great guy as well. It's really sad, I can't remember anyone's names really, except for the ones that I spent like longer with. But I can see everyone's faces. All great people. Like that's why you should go solo backpacking, and you just meet these like, you just have these like nice little like interactions that you probably wouldn't have done if you was with someone, because you're less approachable and you are less willing to approach. That's just me, I don't know. I literally ordered a mint tea before we took off just because I could. But yeah, that's literally how my trip ended. So thank you so much yet again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.